Rightmove dominates the UK property market by controlling what 11 million prospective buyers see each month, using an algorithm that prioritizes listings, sets perceived normal prices, and dictates trends. However, they have admitted in a December shareholder meeting that they have been deliberately inflating listing prices to sustain high revenues from estate agents who pay more to advertise properties priced optimistically. This manipulation has led to a massive disconnect between the prices listed on Rightmove and actual sale prices recorded by the Land Registry. Specifically, while the average property is listed at £412,000 on their platform, the average selling price is just £287,000, creating a staggering £125,000 gap between expectation and reality. Rightmove was aware of this discrepancy for at least 18 months, as their internal metrics tracked the growing difference between listing prices and final sale prices, yet chose to remain silent because their revenue model depends on estate agents paying for listings. This silence means they have been complicit in inflating a property market bubble and fostering unrealistic seller expectations. Properties remaining unsold for over 90 days, once a rarity at about 10%, have now surged to 53% nationwide and 71% in London alone. Notably, these are average homes, typical three-bedroom semis and flats in regional cities, becoming increasingly unaffordable for everyday buyers. The data released by Rightmove reveals that sellers typically reduce their asking prices 5 times before managing to sell, with each reduction averaging £12,000, totaling around £60,000 in cuts. This reflects a grueling 6-month cycle of initial optimism followed by prolonged desperation. Their heat maps expose regional market failures, with up to 62% of properties unsold after 6 months in the Northeast and similarly high figures in Wales and London. Internally, these areas are termed death zones, highlighting the severity of the market collapse. Estate agents are rapidly abandoning Rightmove due to the platform's failing model. Major agencies like Foxtons and Savills have significantly reduced their listings, while others are seeking alternatives. A senior partner at a large London agency revealed that despite paying £1,000 monthly per branch, they receive no sales, and sellers blame agents for unrealistic valuations pushed by Rightmove. This dissatisfaction has led to a revolt, with 1,500 agencies cancelling subscriptions in Q4 2024 to 10% of the client base, and a 23% year-on-year revenue decline for Rightmove. Their desperate response includes offering 50% discounts and free premium listings, but the damage to their reputation is profound, as agents now associate the platform with failure. Furthermore, Rightmove disclosed that only 7% of users can realistically secure mortgages for the properties they view. This means 93% are effectively window shopping for homes they cannot afford. Mortgage brokers partnered with Rightmove confirmed these figures, with average required incomes far exceeding what banks lend, exposing the platform and promoting aspiration without qualification. This disconnect fuels vendor delusions. 83% of sellers believe their homes are worth more than market value, typically by 22%, largely because Rightmove's automated valuation tools overvalue properties by 20 to 30%. Sellers listed inflated prices, leading to long listing times and eventual sales below even real market values. The broader market is in collapse. Average selling times have skyrocketed across the UK, with large percentages of properties never selling. Rightmove's own predictive models forecast critical market failure by mid-2025, with required price drops of up to 40% in some regions to restore functionality. The market is also suffering from the withdrawal of buy-to-let investors, who have dropped from 34% of views in 2019 to just 4% in 2024, further exacerbating the crisis. Rightmove's monopoly, which lasted 2 decades, is dissolving. Competitors like Zoopla are rapidly gaining share, while new entrants like Strike and Purple Bricks introduce free listing models that charge only on successful sales. Rightmove's aggressive tactics to maintain control, including suing startups and locking agents into long contracts, reveal its desperation. The company's share price has plummeted 58% from its peak, reflecting investor pessimism. Internal projections paint a grim picture. Listings are expected to rise by 40% as desperate sellers flood the market, while buyers decrease by 30% due to worsening affordability. Transaction volumes could fall by 50%, leading to a market seizure where buyers and sellers cannot agree on prices, potentially triggering a wider economic crisis by September 2025. Key economic triggers include persistent high interest rates, rising unemployment, forced sales, declining foreign investment, and vanishing first-time buyers. In summary, Rightmove has admitted that the UK housing market is not merely struggling or adjusting, but is fundamentally broken. They confess to inflating prices, hiding critical data, and misleading millions, effectively sustaining a market bubble that is already burst. Their platform, once synonymous with the UK property boom, now reveals the full extent of the collapse, exposing a market riddled with zombie listings, collapsing transactions, and shattered buyer and seller confidence. This confession highlights the end of an era and the collapse of a flawed economic model built on denial and fantasy, marking a painful reckoning for the UK property sector.